Alright, I am back. In this video, this one's going to be quite a bit more tame than any of my others as far as, I don't know, my speed at which I say and do things. Yeah, I'll be checking my phone quite a bit throughout the stream, so don't expect. This is a day that's certainly worth marking with a good stream, so, I'm not even sure what to talk about this time. I don't want it to be super shallow. I think the most invaluable thing about the human experience is, aside from the things that are directly spiritual, which are, up to you to believe in or not, but I would say that it is the relationships that we form with other people and the impact we and they have on their lives. And the positivity you can, do for someone else with, being who you are and, setting yourself aside for others. And when I think back on my life to the most influential and incredible people, that have affected me, almost every one of them has been honest. They've told me what I needed to hear when I needed to hear it, even if it wasn't the easy thing to hear. And they all took care to see what was best for me, even if it wasn't necessarily, what I was looking for or what I thought was easiest or most comfortable. And sometimes people would do that and it would just turn out for the worst, because they wouldn't, they wouldn't consider things about, what I did need. But the ones who did, the ones who set themselves aside as well, to help me out, those were the ones who, made me into someone who was more full and complete, and I don't know. They helped form me into an adult and change my view of the world and the people in it. Because for a while I was a very cynical person. If you knew me at all, I was, kind of loud. I was rather disrespectful to almost everyone I'd see. The number one goal for almost anything would just be, well, I don't even know how to... What even is this? Huh. Doesn't seem that much faster. I'm trying to think of the right way to say it. I think this one's probably gonna be easier to get. Hey. I didn't even mean to do that. Day is by far my favorite world explorer. Almost everything was about attention and seeing, how shocked I could get people, or, how much I could get them to be thinking about me in some sort of way, or how I could manipulate how they thought about me by the way I acted. Holy cow, what is in my throat? Muted my mic real quick. I don't like coughing and sneezing in the mics. But yeah, that wasn't helpful for me. It drove a lot of people that I was very close to away. I remember The most memorable among them was my 6th grade girlfriend, which, oh man, big deal, you know. But I came back in 9th grade. I left the school after 7th grade and went to a different school 8th grade. And when I went back in 9th grade, that was the person I was. And it drove her away. And I was very... What she thought meant a lot to me. And instead of trying to be genuine in myself, I just wanted to be the, you know, coolest, most, I don't know, transgressive person in the room that, you know, people would look at and people would see me as different rather than trying to be who, you know, I was trying to be someone who, or even trying to be better. I never tried to be better. I always tried to be, I don't know, everything I just said. So, 1 second. Wow, quieter than I thought. But yeah, recently I've had a couple things that have really called my... Well, this always happens to me. I am someone who very frequently thinks about my past and my entire life as a whole. And what I did wrong in my youth, what I can do better in my future, and what I can learn to be a complete person. And I kind of overanalyze everything in that regard. But I think it's helpful for being the person I need to be. Yeah, why not? Please don't start punching me. I quite like this little thing. Oh, this is what this is. I do really love this little thing. There goes my phone. Gee, I don't even know what time I work tomorrow. Could you stop walking? That's gracious lady. Gonna get me killed. Harder. Mm. Yeah, I think one of the difficult things in life is when one of those people that is impactful can no longer be a part. And I've had that happen through death, through just poor circumstance, and it's never easy. It's never something that I want to see happen, but it's just sort of a way and rule of life that it kind of does, where we don't always keep, what do you call it? We don't always get to keep the people in our lives that mean a lot to us, and I don't know, that's difficult. And as much as I would like to, sometimes there are people that serve their purpose, but other times I also want to encourage that even if it seems like it's totally over and there's nothing worth going for, I think there are some that are just not worth giving up on, and even if you have to jump through a few hoops, even if you have to put down a stupid payment to go and see them, I think it can be very worth it. And, you know, relationships with, yeah, I can drop down. Relationships with people of that nature are you serious? Are worth even a lot of turmoil for yourself. And I've had that one happen quite a few times. And it's never easy. It is never something I have liked or enjoyed doing, or I don't know, found to be particularly... Oh, I hope this is the sharks. No, it's not. Pretty hard, I'd say. Where am I going? I literally don't know where I'm going. God bless Skyrim. I suppose that's what this was. But I can't unlock it with him. Alright, I need to keep thinking, because what I was saying was important. It can be very draining to... What are these controls, my dude? It can be very draining to pursue someone that's meant a lot to you, and you can't always, you know, have around anymore. But if they really are someone that you haven't driven away completely, I think it's worth going after them. And maybe it might not be in the way that you like. And I would hope for anyone's sake that it is. Because sometimes it's too much if it isn't. But I don't know. Even if it's very difficult, even if it can even hurt you, I think it's more important to be there for others than to have a... I don't want to say simple life, but... Come on. have a life of selfishness, I'd say. I think the biggest tragedy of the last generation is how much focus we've put on ourselves, and it's not always a bad thing. It's not to say that, you know, every time you focus on yourself, you are being selfish. But I do mean to say that we've been putting too much stock in how we feel and, you know, what we think is good for us, and we haven't as much been taking into account what some people in our lives, you know, could benefit from, even at our own expense. And sometimes it's where, I think many times, almost all of the time, of course there's exceptions to that, it's more helpful to be on the back foot for the sake of someone else. I think this is the first piece of music I've heard from this region that I truly love. I've been mostly unimpressed by it this whole time until now. Oh, phlogiston. Forgot that's what it was. Just the coolest thing ever to me. I mean, that was an old scientific concept that we proved wrong, but to see it revived, I mean, that's what the very best of writers can do. Taking, you know, ancient concepts that are real, that we just haven't paid much thought to in a while, and making them into something unique and intuitive. I find to be pretty freaking rad, bro. I love the little ones so much. I don't care, though. I just don't care. I want my waypoint. Alright, so I've talked about selfishness and how putting yourself aside for others can be invaluable. I think that's something that we've lost. I mean, we do have community online, but almost all of that, like, I mean, a block button is so easy. You can cut almost anyone out of your life that even inconveniences you a little bit. And while I don't think everyone does that, I think that's unfair to say. I do think it's now too easy to do the easy thing. And that we will see, and we're starting to see, more people who, I don't know, take on things that are more difficult for the sake of other people. Which, I mean, this is a little broader than I'd ideally like it to be, but I don't exactly want to go, you know, hurling around examples and mudslinging people that I'm not huge fans of. Yeah, I must say I am not a fan of this soundtrack. Find it pretty abrasive. Still don't get why those are here. Oh, good grief. There's a tall cliff. fine. I like that music. Oh boy. You'd be hard pressed to find someone who can make themselves more sick than me. I'm not exactly a worrisome person, but I do. Man. I believe it relates to my spiritual lifestyle, but my goodness, do I put myself out there so much. I feel like I have repeatedly all throughout, especially as my life is, you know, blown up a few times, and is now, you know, kind of off in a direction I can't predict at all. I mean, aside from the manga, of course, which that's still happening 100%, unless something horrible happens to me. Which I doubt it will. I think it's something that the world just needs, so it'll get. But I repeatedly put myself out there and do stupid, difficult things that make my life 30 million times harder. Because I got a dream, alright? I have delusional hope and faith that I can make a situation that I want to work.
Alright, let's finish this fast.
Let's not. Oh no.
Out of the way or get blown away!
Okay. Goodbye. As Baymax has said. Oh no. Wrong one. There we go. But yeah, I do it. I put myself on the line, and, you know, I many a time get myself very, very hurt. But, I don't know. In a way, I feel like it's worth it. I think it's, even if I've had this great a deal of pain in my life, I don't think I'd take any, or no, there's definitely one I'd take away, but many of them I wouldn't. Well, I guess that's kind of disingenuous to say. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that it's kind of beautiful that I can be hurt that bad by something I want to see come to fruition. Because there's something that's that worth fighting for. And I'm happy to hurt that bad if it means that what I could get, what I could achieve, what I could find is... That's seriously not your healed Dia at all. Oh, that's right, I didn't have my ult.
Let's finish this
Here
fast.
comes another.
Look alive! Hi!
Wind, hear me. Ready.
Let's round them up.
Incredible work.
Things are going a little too smoothly today.
Day is almost dead.
Word to the wise. Down. No?
Thought they were coming after us. But I think it is, and I know this is a lot like what Butter said in South Park, which is probably the greatest piece of insight I've seen in any piece of, honestly, almost any piece of fiction I've ever seen. I wouldn't say that definitively, because there's probably some I'm not thinking of right now, but, I mean, it was so simple in the way a 4th grader would put it, of just, well, you know, if something feels this bad, then, you know, I'm happy there was a chance that it made me feel that good. That's more my paraphrase of it, and maybe my rendition, but, you know, I have many times loved life, and I have many times hated it, and I don't know. I don't know where it's going now, but I really hope I can take the ones I really need to along the way with me. I felt so destitutionally alone for so long and for so often. I don't care. I still don't care. Nice outfit though on the purple guy. But yeah, I have, goodness gracious, I've had too much pain for a lifetime in just 20 years. I mean, I'll just say I've lost my family twice. I mean, that's not, I mean, could be more depending on how you count that, but I count it as twice. Just having the entire family system dismembered and leaving me on the total outside. That's happened twice. Well, no, because that time I didn't consider my family, so I guess it's like, even though I was part of a family unit, I didn't consider it my family. I've only considered myself part of 2 families and have lost them both times. And it never gets easier. There are some that I still have not reconnected with, some that are dead, some that, I don't know. The point is, I've gone through way more than almost anyone at 20 years of age ever should have to. Obviously, not as much as some people, but it's part of what inspired me so heavily to start writing and do the things that I do through my story, because I want people to know, no matter how bad it is materially, no matter who isn't even there anymore. Oh, yes, dude. Oh, that's what it was. It was just a jump. Let me think some more about what I was trying to say. Yeah, and I want people to know that no matter how bad that gets, even if you lose people, even if you lose the very closest people to you, that there's still hope. And, you know, sometimes it could be them that comes back, sometimes it isn't, sometimes they're gone. But them being around and what they've done in their life is more important than how they died. And they don't have to be someone who had it all put together or were perfect. But, you know, what they left behind is worth remembering. And leaving something behind yourself, as they did, is worth living for. And, I don't know, that's something that I really want to show to a lot of people. And I want them to contemplate, and from the perspective of people that have been through even more pain than me, by quite a bit. There's no way it's that thing again, right? Yeah, I was gonna say, like... Good grief, man, really? Like, I kind of get why they have to. But, I mean, come on. Like, seriously. Really? Not around here. I don't know. But, even now, especially, I'm tired of things getting worse. I want to see things get better. I want to see... But it does take time. And right now it feels like more time than I'm willing to wait, but I also have very good friends who have not had anywhere near the luxury I have with... This is so I think I'm just gonna go down into here and start these. No, this kind of makes the most sense to me. I like this little corner. It doesn't go anywhere, which is kind of the whole point. Yeah, man, is it tiring, and has it been, where, you know, you give up so much, you put yourself out there again to try and reform, you know, some of the things that you yourself have caused to lose, or some things that were totally out of your control. And it's not easy. And it really is something that kind of feels like beating yourself over the head over and over again with horrible pain. But I've, in recency, through no strength of my own, I've been becoming resilient to it, and, you know, accepting that I just should keep going. Even farther than I should be able to, even farther than I can be able to. And it's been keeping me steady in a way that hasn't before. I mean, earlier this year, very early in the year, I was kind of looking back at things, and I was just like, I'd completely run out of energy, and I just kind of went like, I'm totally stepping back, and I don't believe it was a great choice, but it was beyond what I could do at that time. Even though I wish it wasn't. I do wish I could have been better, but it was impossible there. And I think I am now. Throwing myself back into what caused those sorts of feelings in the first place, but I mean, at the same time, it's like I said, what I am fighting for is and hoping to, you know, once again have is more important than, you know, feeling comfortable. There are many days though where I want the pain to stop completely, and it doesn't always feel possible, especially recently. I mean, I guess before it was worse, but I mean now it's similar where it kind of feels never ending and how inescapable. I like these things the most by far. I could find one of those things. What is that? What is that? That looks stupid. There's no way this should require something, right? This. I quite like this. Yeah, that's not happening. Hilly trolls, I didn't think they were in this region. Hi, boys. I've grown somewhat fond of them over time, but I still don't think they're great design-wise. I think they could have been. You could have done a lot better for world minions. I wonder how tonight will be. As many nights I would roll around and I couldn't stop the aching. I'd have so much mental distress that it... Seriously, dude? Seriously? That's crazy. I've never had it happen that bad, that often. Oh my goodness, that was scary. But that was a common occurrence of that, and that's of course rubbed off in a couple characters I have, which I won't go into any depth in right now for many reasons, but one very big reason. But Ugh, I don't know. There have been many times that I've maybe turn me into a PS5 controller. Who knows? But yeah, very many times where I've just felt so insanely defeated that the only thing I could do is just keep moving. And that type of thing has led me into behavior that I'm not proud of on many occasions, and turning to sources that I shouldn't, to have any sort of comfort and to just get it to stop. But I don't know. I think that's very understandable in one sense, but okay, yeah, looks like I got full on drift now. That's fine. This is still very playable. It's just this that I like the least. Suppose I go this way around. Maybe I try that. No, that's even more. Maybe I should have just gone through the mainland like a normal person. Yeah, I hope this time I can show a difference. Ooh, maybe that was it. Maybe that is it. I think many, if not all things. I think saying everything happens for a reason is pretentious and untrue. But I also think nothing happens for a reason is even more pretentious and even more untrue. So I like a little middle ground where there are a lot of things that happen for a reason. Okay. And I can fight them, that won't be too tough. But it's not what I'm looking for right now. Nah, they'll be fine. I've survived this, they can survive this. I like music like this. I like lots of music. Still think she should be able to break that. I love Florinda. Kind of wish those things made noises. They did that. Oh, but I think that might be it. Of, you know, that whole everything happens for a reason thing. I think that might be this time, even though, man, is it not a time that I'd like to test this out with. But I suppose that means there's not going to be any better possible practice I can get. Or any more testing that can result worse, but oh, sure sucks right now. And it's like, I don't want to be so dependent on my own circumstance for how I feel. Like, I don't think that's spiritually healthy, even if it's, you know, always a fact. Okay, that one's confusing. Alright. Man. Okay, did not pay attention to that. Excuse you. Okay, I've changed my mind. We're going to this one. We're gonna figure that out. Figure that out together. Oh, never mind, just did. Never mind, I remember. Ba weep gra not weep niniban. Man, that's my favorite movie of all time. I don't think it'll ever be close. There's some movies I've loved, like The Truman Show, the first It. How to Train Your Dragon, it's very up there. Dragon Ball Super Broly, if I may say. Yeah, I don't have the most refined resume of favorite movies. I don't care. I've seen the first 50 minutes of The Godfather, loved it, got distracted, did something else. I don't even remember when I started watching it, but it's near the top of my watch list. Man, music is really turned around for me. Still think Sumeru takes the cake, just for the desert lands alone. Alright, just how plausible. Alright, come on out. Diddy, come on out. Oh, come on. Okay, wow. This is bad because it might be like this for a while. Alright, I've made my decision now. We're gonna have two major changes here. There we go. Alright, as much as I love you.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this.
We can do this.
Can't have you. Gonna have to have an amalgamation of this team and my last team. Kaya, my beloved.
Freeze!
Weapons, switch. We're going to switch with chain.
Dodge this!
Looks really good on him.
Freeze!
I think he was made for my main man. Oh my goodness. That is ridiculous, dude.
Cool it!
That should not be allowed. I think that's just there to troll me. What am I thinking? What am I thinking?
Freeze!
Oh, man. This is gonna be tough. It's gonna be a very tough night for me, but...
Cool it!
I think in that way it might be good for me.
Dodge this!
Which... I have to keep delusional faith with all my situations now. That's the way I've decided to go. And I made that decision and commitment, and it was not an easy one, but I'm rather sure it was the right one. Of totally shutting out.
Cool it.
You know. The voice in the back of my head that says you can't do it. And, of course, adhering to realistic standards. But not being too bound by them. Now, there are limits. I think there are definitely limits. I've found them. But... I don't know. I think this is more important.
Cool it.
Imagine how warm this water is. This is something I love so much about this game. That I think has died out in so many others. Of going to places that you just want to be. And this is somewhere I'm just so happy to experience and be a part of. This is my problem with the Breath of the Wild series, where I feel like almost everywhere has been imagined before, or is so adherent to some piece of story or, you know, intuitive area that there's not enough room for calm, beautiful areas like this that you just want to sit back and be by forever. And this is definitely one of those places. Those that I would wish to visit quite a lot.
Dodge this.
Long way from home. Don't fall off, please. Okay, quick thing. Don't know why he hasn't immediately recharged any of these times, but that's fine with me. Alright, guess we're booking it. Ooh, maybe not wise. Oh, good. Okay. Whew. I didn't know there could be waypoints that were not on the map.
What's the hurry?
Beautiful. Yeah, this place might... At first, I far preferred Fontaine. But I think this place in particular might take that crown from it. There's so much beauty in the world. There's so much that's so worth in all of creation. It makes times like these.
Dodge this.
It makes them worth it.
Freeze.
Knowing that there's always that on the other side of whatever I'm dealing with. And it doesn't have to be like this forever.
Dodge this.
That I can get back to beauty. I can experience
freeze.
A edifying reality. I miss having that sort of hope so much. It's just not something I've been able to bring myself to until recently, and it's been really helpful. I mean, for a while I really fell down there towards the beginning of this year. I thought I was so sure that things were going to get better, and then they kept getting a little worse, and then they kept getting a little worse, and then I finally just broke a little, and I couldn't take it anymore. I took a day off work and felt so physically sick that I just had to
Freeze!
I had to step away, and I did, and I don't know, it seems everywhere I looked for what I was searching for was just another dead end. And
Dodge this!
you know, I'm getting started again, and right now I'm seeing it get a little worse again.
Freeze!
And I'm fearful of that, but in these moments, that's why I like to take a little while. That's why I like to talk things through and renew, I guess, sort of like affirmations, even though I don't like that word since it normally pertains to a crowd of people. I don't like millennials. I struggle to think of many, if any, millennials in my life that I truly enjoy the company of. None immediately come to mind. Like, the only ones that... Oh. Well. Okay.
Freeze!
Oh, my goodness. I got a couple. But not too many by any means. No, okay, now that my mind's expanded a little bit to some more that I used to know a long time ago now they look better, but yeah, when I am able to do something like this and talk myself through it and set myself straight on the things that really matters, what's there on the other end, I can... Well, the only part of that allows me to do it is the Lord himself. I think that gets people to start putting their presuppositions on what that means, and it can lead them to stop listening, or them to just leave it at their own understanding. And that goes both ways, just leaving it at their understanding when I say that, and not really thinking about everything around just that one piece that I'm saying. It's like he's the only piece, he's the biggest piece of how this is possible. But I mean, at the same time, when people talk about God, they always come in thinking they know him and speaking to what I found through him, instead of this vague idea that almost nobody agrees on. I think is more helpful. And to say the things that I have been saying, those are all things that I've learned walking with him and learning from him. I think it's more helpful to your average person to hear it detached from their own biases, and to sort of come at it objectively without their presuppositions about who he is, because that won't lead them anywhere. And I don't feel like trying to debate people on that. I'd rather just share the good and the wonder of the conditions and experiences in life I've been dealt, and say what he's helped me find without directly inserting him into it, which I feel kind of bad about, because I don't want to take away the credit from him. I don't want it to omit him from my story in any way. But I'm more trying to reach people who are...
Freeze!
Goodness gracious.
Dodge this!
Who are not familiar with him in the way I am.
Freeze!
And don't have that, you know, daily sort of walk. So...
Cool it! Dodge this!
I think experience is something worth listening to, even away from someone's worldview.
Cool it!
Where you don't have to line up in the same place to have genuine good things to listen to. And that is a huge... I never get political, and, well, I try not to. And it's because when you start dividing yourself as a... I'll just come out and say content creator, because I'm not big now. I'm not going to be big for another, I'd guess, 5 years, maybe 10. No, not 10, 5 to 7. Maybe
Freeze.
It could even be 3, which would be sooner than I'd ever expect and hope, realistically.
Dodge this!
But it is possible with what I'm about to start putting out.
Cool it!
I'm excited. Oh, yeah. As someone who will become a content creator, I want to, like, I have entire political things that are totally set aside from the persona I promote and are very private. Because while I do have a distinct interest in politics, and I do like them a lot, I think they are so unbelievably useless to reaching people, that I stay as far as possible away from them. But, I think we've become way too divided, where if we assume someone's politics, or we know them, then we sort of get and we disagree with those politics. We kind of just don't listen to what they have to say. I think someone's experience is more important than their political alignment. Now, I think there's exceptions to this on extreme levels. I'll let you be the judge of what those are. Whether it be one way or the other. But
Dodge this! Freeze! Cool it!
Yeah, I think listening to what people have been through, because each of us has inherent value of our own. Each of us has something we can offer. Many show it, some totally bury it and, you know, do and say stupid things and, you know, hide that value as much as possible. I'd probably say Chris Chan's the best example of that I can possibly think of. Where you kind of just look at them and you go, what? Like, I mean, he'd almost be a refutation of my views that I've stated. But no, even Chris Chan has value and has something to offer the world. Something that's legitimately helpful, not even just a don't do this example, but something that he's good at that not everyone has, a specific skill set that, you know, we haven't seen. And maybe he keeps it and maybe he doesn't know about, maybe he does know about, who knows? That's not, you know, my place to know, but I do know that Even though he's probably the best example of someone who's almost completely hidden it away. Doesn't mean it's not there. Not at all. And we all have something, so no matter how much better you think you are than someone, you can always try and listen to them. And their experience, you can learn something. Nobody knows everything as much as I would like to on some occasions, but I mean, as I discussed with some people on Instagram Reels the other day, or it might have been today, might have been yesterday, where they were talking about how knowing things is underrated and being curious is better than someone who knows everything. And I think I agree. I agreed with them in the thread. Huh? Alright. Day of friendship level 9, imagine that. Oh, now the drift is much less oppressive. Doesn't know what this guide nonsense is. Is it this? I haven't been doing that. I'm not a perfect person. I've done, said, and acted a lot of stupid ways and things, and I'm not proud of everything that I've done, but I am proud that I get the opportunity to do and be something better. And I never want to stop fighting for
Thank you for
the very best. Even if it takes almost everything out of me. It's funny, I've never gotten one of these. I don't know which I would get. Which I do quite like this one, but I mean, his original is so good that it's kind of no need. I think the best one's probably Kachane. Because it's rather different from her original. Dude, I freaking love being in Wano. Well, I don't know. I have a lot of hope, even though I probably shouldn't, so I hope you do too. Thank you if you watched, and, well, see you when I won. When we won.